Gordon Johncock, for having what was considered by many an antiquated engine, you looked like you had a good chance at the lead. What happened to it?
Well, we were just having to run so hard, Paul, to stay up with the Cosworths, you know, and point that, you know, we come in a couple of times and screwed the boost into it. And we were running such a high boost it just tore the engine apart trying to keep up with them.
If you were running that high a boost, could you have finished the race?
Well, I really don't know because I don't know. I didn't ask them how much fuel I had left, you know, so I don't know if we could have finished or not.
What do you think will happen now? You were one of the prime proponents of this qualifying effort, the fact that you qualified slow. What is going to happen now? What's the future?
Well, I really don't know, Paul. I just hope they do something about it, you know, and make it equal for everybody. We're not asking to have an advantage like the 8s had for the last 2 years, you know. I haven't sat on the pole for 2 years now. And I can, for instance, this racetrack right here, I can run flat out around this racetrack, and they can run it down in the corner and lift with the Cosworth, and they still can run 8 or 10 mile an hour faster than I can, and it's not fair, you know. They're just driving the offie out of business and all the little guys because they don't have a chance to race it.
Will we see you with an 8-cylinder next year?
Well, yes, we will. We actually have 12 8-cylinders ordered, 6 Cosworths and 6 offies. So, you know, we have 8 cylinders ordered, but can't everybody get them, you know. If everybody could go to the shelf and buy a V8 so they could be competitive, it would be different. But there's only 12 or 13 teams now that has the Cosworth, and, you know, part of them are out of parts. There's 2 of them that are not here now because they don't have parts. So it's just not fair.
Gordon Johncock out of this race.
And we're watching Johnny Rutherford make a late stop in the race, Dan.
I'd say he'd be able to go all the way. I wonder if AJ can.
Krisilov in the pits, his final pit stop. Steve Krisilov in car number 40, running in 3rd position. And he is doing so well this year. A lot of people question Pat Patrick's decision to go with Krisilov. He was 100% right on this kid. He's consistent. He's been driving well, never gets in over his head, gets the job done. A.J. Foyt still is in front. There are now 85 laps complete, 15 to go. Will Foyt go the distance, or will the gas run out? That's the question. I say gas. I should say fuel. Here we are at turn number 1 with A.J. Foyt in first. And now Krisilov taking second. Johnny Rutherford back to second, they say. Steve Krisilov in third in this Texas 200. A.J. Foyt is in a lap by himself. The other cars all pitting. In the second position is Rutherford. Moving to third has been Dallenbach. In fourth is Krisilov. That's the standings. In fifth at the present time is number 1, Sneva. There are 10 laps remaining in the race to Paul Page in the pits.
Ken, I just want to show you that despite all of the serious talk at the racetrack today, they still have a good sense of humor. This is Linda Johncock, Gordon Johncock's wife. You will notice a black armband. They are wearing that black armband for the Drake engine that they say is now gone forever. They still can laugh about it.
It may look like a black armband to you, but it sure looked like a garter to me, Paul. Here's A.J. Foyt running high on the track in that second position. At the present time, a lap down. Foyt in a lap by himself is reported the Johnny Rutherford car. Rutherford reported now in second spot. Do you think with 69, the lap on which A.J. Foyt last came in and fuel, that he can go the distance?
I don't, Ken, but don't underestimate Supertex.
NFL preseason action is on CBS. Dallas Cowboys versus Denver Broncos. It's next Saturday, 3 p.m. as CBS Sport kicks off its 23rd consecutive season of NFL coverage with a preseason game. The Cowboys taking on the Broncos. It's going to be at Indy. Foyt in turn number 1. And the pressure's really on, and the crowd senses it. The public address telling them that it was lap 69. Can he go the distance? Or will this thing begin to sputter and spit and perhaps give Johnny Rutherford his second win of the season? Rutherford is in second. Remember, he is a lap down. Foyt in a lap unto himself, and now 92 laps are complete.
Early in the race, he stopped on after 23 laps, and in this case, he would have to go 31. That would be a big improvement.
Remember, here is Simon being passed. Remember, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the reason you're not seeing Ungaius, he's blown 2 engines. One yesterday, one this morning, ran out of engines. So Danny Ungaius, who won here at Texas earlier this year, did not come out to make the grid. Rutherford trying to get back in this race. Sneva there in the car number 1, still making up laps, holding on to that number 1 spot in the standings. Foyt looking for the win. And although he's won the national title more than anyone else in USAC history, it's not the title, it's those races, race after race. The only important race to A.J. Foyt is the next one. Here he is coming back into the main straightaway. There's Johnny Rutherford running in second spot. Going third is Wally Dullenbach. Dullenbach's due for a win sometime soon. Laps running down. There are 94 complete. They are working in the 95th lap. A.J. working very light on fuel. What happens to a car as that fuel load lightens up? How does it handle, Dan?
Well, normally they get a little more jittery. They're more comfortable to drive with a full load of fuel. I don't know how they work running on fumes, and I'm pretty sure A.J. will be running on fumes pretty soon.
Well, here he is coming down. This will be the completion of lap 95. 95 complete for A.J. Foyt. Johnny Rutherford right there. Still shown as a lap apart. A.J. up there by himself with 5 laps to go, and the crowd begins to gather around the victory circle here at the Texas World Speedway. Next on our schedule, we're bringing you live coverage from Milwaukee. Coming up in August, 2 to 4, Sunday, August 20th, Eastern Time, CBS Sports Special. Coverage of the United States Auto Club race at Milwaukee, the Grand Old Track on the USAC schedule. The day before, highlights from Talladega and the Travers from Saratoga. That's a great weekend for those of you who like to see him run. A.J. Foyt is the leader. Dan?
It looks as though Johnny Rutherford is running A.J. down, probably trying to make him use as much fuel as possible. He certainly can't make up a lap at this stage of the game unless something really different occurs.
On this 2-mile track, back into the 22-degree banking of turn number 3. Well in excess of 200 miles an hour. Then the G-forces take over and slow you down a little there. A.J. Foyt, when he comes around, there will be 3 laps remaining for this man who has done it all. So many times it has been said, so true. He's won reunion, raced at Le Mans, one of the stock cars, and when it comes to championship cars, just a name unto himself. Foyt built it himself, drives it himself, crews it himself. He gives the instructions on the pit stops from right there in the cockpit.
High-speed office. Looks like that wing adjustment didn't do any harm also.
He laps Krisiloff, Steve Krisiloff, the 3rd place car being lapped. Krisiloff now 2 laps down. You see him there on the top of the screen. Here comes Rutherford putting Krisiloff a lap down to him. Rutherford running in 2nd place, a lap away. And now there are 2 laps remaining. 2 laps to go. Foyt in command. This is the shaky time because the only lap that counts is coming up. And so many times, those who seem to have such great control over these races, who can live through it all, do all the right moves, and make all the right adjustments as they make those quick pit stops, in that last lap, they'll hear that strange sound that says it's not their day. 1 lap to go as Foyt comes around. Rutherford closing. Rutherford moving up, wants to get a lap back. The white flag is out, indicative of a lap remaining. Is still alive. Big, brawny, strong Texan. Goes down into turn number 1. The Jim Gilmore car. Jim Gilmore gave the command to fire the engines, and he'll be the man in victory lane to greet his own driver as this race comes to conclusion. A nice day for the Gilmores from Michigan. Foyt in the backstretch. Rutherford just behind him by about 100 feet into turn number 3. And this Texas crowd will explode. This is their driver, and the Texans are lining them up to come across the line. Rutherford comes up on the outside. They will finish 1st and 2nd. Rutherford 1 lap down as they cross the stripe. It's Texas, the Lone Star folks, finishing 1st and 2nd here in this 200-mile Texas event, Dan. A.J. Foyt has won it. Johnny Rutherford comes in 2nd place. Finishing in 3rd will be Steve Krisiloff, and 4th will be Wally Dullenbach, with the 5th position going to Tom Sneva as the checkered flag is unfurled on another spectacular United States Auto Club event. This one's had a little bit of everything, and in 2 weeks we're going to see them go at it again on the Grand Old Track, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, here on CBS. After averaging 159 miles an hour, A.J. Foyt has won the 60th race of his career. He's in victory lane. Let's go to Paul Page.
A.J. Foyt has pulled in his number 14 Gilmore Coyote into victory lane here. A.J. Foyt, it's been a long time, and you've done it in front of a Texas crowd. Does that make it extra special?
It really does. If you got to win, I want to win in front of my hometown people. But all in all, I won this race for My mother's in the hospital in Di Gilmore.
A.J. Foyt.
A.J. Foyt climbing out of the car. His mother in the hospital. A lot of pressure here today. We'll let A.J. have just a moment because it, as you saw, it seemed to choke him up just a minute. We'll step back now. A.J. Foyt, let me ask you, you came in early, in the early part of the race. It appeared to be an unscheduled pit stop. It's something that you wanted. Why did you do that? Was that the strategy?
Well, not really, no. The car was handling beautiful, and we got loose, and I was just about ready to spin, and I've crashed here a couple times, and that's not the most fortunate thing that you can do. So my crew worked fantastic this year. We're finally getting our act together, and we made and put a smaller right rear tire change on, and which helped the chassis a lot. And you know, we just didn't have a lot of time to start it. We've had our problems all year, but like I say, you know, my mother went to the hospital this week. Di Gilmore, our sponsor, and Jim's here with me, is going to have to be operated on Tuesday. So all in all, much as both of them love racing, neither one was here. So this win meant a lot to me for them.
Well, A.J., I'm sure they're seeing you here today on CBS, and they know that you have done well and that you are a happy man. I'm sure they're happy for you. Earlier in the year, you were quoted as saying that you were not spending as much attention to racing as you should. Was that a true statement?
It really was. I haven't. My crew is already starting construction and planning on what we're going to build next year, because this car's been, since 1973, it's been a very competitive car. It's a very good car. I think it's a safe car. It's a fast car. But, you know, everybody's kind of caught up with us, and I think some of them's passed us. But you can see how my crew come back and worked hard today. They're not quitters. We've been on bottom before, and we're not planning on staying there, because you'll see me run for a couple more years, and that's about it.
A.J. Foyt, you are a winner here under a little bit of controversy, well, a large controversy for USAC. Do you have a reaction to it?
I don't know what you're really talking about, to be honest with you.
A.J. Foyt wins an 8-cylinder car, and he is the winner here in the Texas 200 at College Station. A.J. Foyt. Ken?
Since 1960, he's been a name to reckon with, and he will be for some years to come, as you just heard him say. The marvelous Mr. Foyt. Some people call him rough and gruff, but when he wants to be, he can be the most sensitive and quiet and introspective person you could hope to meet. A great day for Foyt. And Johnny Rutherford has finished in second. Johnny started to drive in today as if he was coming to pit road, and then he drove right up to pit road and then faked it and turned left, and he's down there now with Paul Page.